So just in a little bit over a week, we are going to have the Prismatic Evolutions Super Premium Collection Box coming out here. So I want to talk about this product, give my thoughts about the prices, and what I think is going to happen with this product. So let's just do a little bit of a look into this product to see what it has. We'll see kind of what you can buy them for right now. And at the end, I'm going to give my thoughts about what I would do if you're trying to buy any of these. And yeah. So first, like I said, let's just look at what's in here. So first, let's just look at the box. Honestly, I feel like for a super premium collection box or ultra premium, these boxes are really nice. It has a lot of color. Seemingly it's going to be pretty shiny. So display piece wise, I think it's going to be a really nice one. It has what, 15 packs here. I'd have to look at the description. Yeah, it's 15 packs. You get this nice promo with, I guess it's inside of this cardboard thing. Looks really cool. You get this EV deck box. You could probably pair this up with the pouch collection box, and because they look pretty similar, looks pretty cool. But yeah, this fruit cake EV is definitely going to be a very expensive card. Then you also get this playmat, which this playmat is pretty cool. So overall, this product is definitely a hit. Something that you probably would want to have at some point in time. Honestly, for a display piece, I think it's really cool, but also the contents inside are really nice. So overall, it's a great product. And here you can just see the description if you want to see everything that's in there. It's just right here. Now we're going to look at what you can buy them for, the current market prices, and talk about that, because right now you can see the MSRP is 90 bucks. Obviously, market is a lot more than that. But yeah, we'll continue to see where prices go. But for now, they are sitting right at around like 280 to 290. So what is that? Like triple MSRP. At this point, MSRP for a lot of these products, especially Prismatic, don't really mean much. But yeah, that's where it's at right now. It's at 280 to 290. If you look at sales recently, like prices have gone down since this was first listed, obviously, because if you look at these prices, it's insane that people are paying 500 bucks for these. But recently, as we get closer to the release day, more people list and prices get a little bit more realistic prices since they've gone down sub 300. Sales have shot up a ton, and you can see even one day 33 of these sold for 283. So around this price point, sub 300, seemingly a lot more people are more confident buying at this price point. Now when you go and see the actual amount of listings that are available, it doesn't look like this is probably going to climb above what it's at right now currently before it gets released, because there's a ton of supply, as you can see, in the 280s to 290s. I guess there's not a lot of supply just overall, but there's a lot here where I don't believe this is going to get much more expensive on release day, just because it just seems like there's a lot here and more people will list. So I think it'll probably stay around this range before the product gets released. So let's just look at some other places where you could buy if you don't want to buy from TCG Player. So let's just first look on eBay. So on eBay, you can buy these for pretty much the exact same price. So unless there's a specific seller you like buying from, it's pretty much the exact same price. There's a seller here selling for 290. There's other sellers selling for around 290s. I guess mid to higher 290s. But yeah, you can't really buy them for any cheaper. So it pretty much is just around 280 to 290 for this box. There are a couple other places that you can buy other than eBay. There's Flipside Gaming, which you could buy a case for $11.90, and if you wanted to do the math on that, that comes out to $297.50 per box. So you are paying like a $10 premium, but you are getting the case. So if you do value that, spending another $10 per box for the super premium, maybe it's worth it. But here, I'm pretty sure shipping will be free at spending this much money, but you also do have to pay taxes. But you do get a case. I'm not exactly sure if they double box. You can message them unless you already know. I don't know if they double box or not, but you do get the case, but you do have to pay a little bit of a premium. Now another place you can buy these is Forge and Fire. Forge and Fire right now selling them for $280. Not really sure if what shipping is with this place or taxes, but they are a little bit cheaper than all the other options. And I know a lot of people do like Forge and Fire, so they are still available here for this price. It's a little bit under market, so if you want to buy, Forge and Fire has them. Now, lastly here, before I give my, thoughts about this product and prices, I wanted to just show you guys 151, because every time I talk about Prismatic, I have to compare it to 151. The 151 UPC right now is going for $340. and right now the Prismatic one is basically $290, so it's like $50 less. If you compare the two, do you think it's overpriced comparatively to 151? Do you think it's underpriced? You can make the decision, but it is I guess worth noting that the 151 UPC, I know they're a little bit different, but it's basically the same thing. I don't know why they didn't call it a UPC for Prismatic. They called it special premium. I don't know honestly why the names are different. I think it's kind of the same thing. They both have playmats, they have promos. I don't really understand, but I'm just comparing these products because they're pretty similar. But the 151 box is like $50 more. So just want to compare the two just to talk about them because I always have to compare 151 and Prismatic. But now, since we're at the end, like I said, I wanted to give my opinions about if you're trying to buy this box and what I would do personally based on what we've seen recently. So recently for Prismatic, we've seen a lot of restocks, right? We've seen the PC ETBs get restocked. They dropped from 340 to sub 250. We've also gotten restocks of the ETBs. The ETBs dropped from like 140 down to like the mid 110s. Now they're back to around 120. Also, other products have gotten restocked. The surprise boxes from Pokemon Center, they got restocked. They dropped sub 60, and they were previously at $85. Also, I guess the tech stickers got restocked, but prices didn't do that much. I mean, really, who cares about that product? Other products have also gone down too. Binder collections, they were once a little bit above $80. Now they're in the 70s. There's a bunch. And just overall Prismatic, there's been high sales volume for Prismatic still, sure, since prices have dropped and people are taking advantage of the discount. But it's worth noting that there's a lot of restocks and a lot of prices have been going down overall for Prismatic. Also the cards. So after talking about all those restocks and everything that's been happening with Prismatic, prices going down basically for everything, what do I now think about buying the Super Premium Collection Box? Honestly, since we've seen this amount of supply for Prismatic Evolutions coming out recently, it seems like the market, there's just a ton of supply out there. And I've also heard, I think previously, that apparently the Super Premium Collection Box is supposed to be printed a lot for Prismatic Evolutions. I would wait. I know that sounds like such a bad thing to say. I know it's like sort of a meme to say to wait for stuff to buy, but just looking at Prismatic right now, I think buying at some of these prices, especially for like, I know this premium collection box could be different, but I feel like just recently, since we've seen so many prices dropping, I can't see this going up, if that makes any sense, because I don't think there's a single Prismatic product really going up in value in the past month. I think the only exception is like the booster bundle possibly, because those were released later. But other than that, Prismatic has just been stagnant, and then recently those restocks have caused the market to go down for Prismatic, and the cards have been going down. So I think if I were to buy the Super Premium Collection Box, I would probably wait until after release day to see what happens, because like I said, I don't really think prices are going to move up before being released here, because just looking at the supply, I don't think it's going to go up. And just looking at just recently what's happened with just overall with Prismatic, I don't see this like skyrocketing or anything. You will have, I think, a chance to buy these even on release day or a few weeks after. If the prices don't drop, then at least you know that, okay, that's a stable price. But as of right now, when prices for Prismatic overall have been dropping, I wouldn't be buying this product at like $290, $300. I just wouldn't. And personally, if you're asking, have you bought any? No. For me, buying a Super Premium Collection Box at that price, I would rather just buy the PC ETB at a discount, knowing that it was at $340 and now we're at a discount at sub $250. That's just my opinion, but I think in that way it's a little bit smarter, knowing that the history of prices of that product with the PC ETB versus the Super Premium. You don't know where the market's going to stand after it gets released. You don't know the supply. You don't know what's going to happen. So I think it's a little bit risky and maybe not that smart to be buying at the current market price for the Prismatic Super Premium Collection Box. So those are my thoughts about the product. I think it's a really good product, especially that promo. The Fruitcake Eevee is going to be a crazy promo to have. And just overall, the product is a hit. So you will want to have it at some point. But just currently right now, I probably wouldn't pay market for it. So those are my thoughts about the product. Hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know down in the comments below if you were able to get any on the Pokemon Center drop, or if you have pre-ordered any. Let me know down in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.